Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again, and I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your moment. And I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make it worthwhile. At this moment, I'm trying to throw together a couple of pancakes, but I got this message that's important for me to share with you. And even though I'm preparing these pancakes, I want to give it to you this way. And the reason I want to do it while I'm doing these pancakes is because who knows? One day you might want to know about me, and I want you to know me. So I invite you into my beings, my wherewithals. So when they start talking about the story of Eddie Marcus, you can say, I remember when. You see, ladies and gentlemen, the message that I have for today is one that I made some notes on. I made notes because when the Spirit is coming to me, and I'm not there at the time being able to record, I like to make notes so when I can get an opportunity, I can share that information with you, and I'm not going to rely on this mind of mine that God allowed me to have, which sometimes when it's been around a long time, forget things. So realizing that, I'm not ashamed of it, I make notes, and I'm going to refer to them, so please forgive me for any distraction that it might have. But my message today is for the, what I want to really call the dedicated people. And it's a message to those who are leaders, dedicated leaders. It's a message to those who call themselves a moral fabric. And it is a message that I would say is worthwhile to the world. And I want to say to you that there are many, many disastrous things that are occurring all over the world today. The floods are destroying our towns. Hurricanes are destroying our cities, and wildfires are destroying our forests and communities. Now, this is nature readjusting, and it's realigning the natural structure. In other words, change is being made. Now, what would change have to do? A lot of times people say these kinds of changes couldn't possibly be a result of the things that we are engaged in. Maybe God is pissed off with the people. But I'd like to ask you, then what is this? You know, America has always been evil. It, however, was called the greatest nation amongst other nations that were much worse. So much worse that its citizens would find themselves trying to escape borders, rivers, and whatever, trying to find some refuge in other places, to any place where they would receive them. They would run away from these countries like as if they were running away from jail. Now, when you look at that, America, and you look at where we really are today, what happened? Did you see that? Trump for president. The rich people knew it. Other people didn't. The rich people called him Satan. Those who ran against him for that office, they called him Satan. They called him one of the most evil people on earth. They actually did. They got recordings out there stating this fact. But he came to America's political scene. And he brought with him lies, deception, cheating, and stealing. He brought with him hate, racism, and bigotry. He brought with him prejudice. And he didn't create it. No. He was expressing what he was trained to be, boldly. Now, all the hypocrites that were under the cuffs of the law, he opened the door for them. So now they could show and expose their hatred, their racism, their bigotry, their willingness to lie, to be deceptive, to any end. But what he was proving, that American people were weak enough to require a leader such as him, if they would be loyal, to lead this nation. Now, if this is what half of America's white population did, they have proven daily they and Trump are one. Evil. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the pancake mix is kind of thickening up a little bit. But I want to also remind you that the remaining white population, including America's second-class people of color, are caught in a maze. They don't know what to do. They don't know which way to go. They don't want to go the way of Trump's evil. And yet, it is not a denunciation of evil itself. It's total evil. And this finds them at a stalemate. Evil has no decency. Evil will go to any extreme. And yet, in order to survive, there will be a need for compromise. So in the compromise, you're going to have 1% that can do basically anything they want to do. In fact, they could build spaceships and space rockets, and they can go up in space and play games. And in fact, they can invite the other members of the 1% to buy $1 million seats to take people that they want to take up into space and have a good time. That's the 1%. While the rest of people got to struggle to try to have a decent life, or others trying to be able to make ends meet from paycheck to paycheck and bill to bill, and others just trying to survive above water. Well, what do we do about that, ladies and gentlemen? The way out. I've been talking about it for 30 years. But it's been resisted by evil and by those who consider themselves a little less evil. Boy, I tell you, the straight and narrow is foreign to all those who have accepted other paths. Those that have the truth, they expose the evil and reveal the path of freedom, the path to the cross if need be. Currently, the world has accepted evil or compromise. People are afraid of the cross because they don't know the rewards having gone to the cross. And that fear keeps them in bondage. Bondage, what I mean when I say keep them in bondage. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let me just try to put it to you this way. You know what we're going through, right? Listen, people, all over the world, wherever you are, I know. Listen, if you're lucky enough to hear this, every last one of you want to survive. But to survive means having your needs and your wants and your desires met. And those most common amongst all of you, which you should easily guarantee to one another, are food and clothing and shelter and education and health care and transportation and the infrastructure and all of those things that you have determined that are so important to you. You should be able to guarantee that to one another. And having done that, listen, ladies and gentlemen, having done that, you will be able to live in peace and be prosperous and have your freedom. You'd have your joy of life. and the fulfillment of your dreams. And the most magnificent thing of it all is that you guarantee it to each other while doing the greatest thing for yourselves. And what is that? By choosing a career that gives you your greatest joy. Whatever it is that you want to be, whatever it is that's deep down inside of you, nobody can tell you, you can't do that, you can't be that. No, everybody's saying, please be that. Why? Because that makes the picture better. That makes the whole entire environment better. That makes the world better. That makes our lives better. And so they're saying every opportunity, every door is open. Be the best you can be. Don't make no China furniture. Make that furniture that look like it's going to last forever. And do. Why? Because it opened up doors for you to do other things than rather repeating making doors out of paper and sawdust. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the time to grow. This is the time to laugh at the devil. This is the time to get rid of evil. This is the time to stand on your rooftop and tell everybody, let's get it on. Mama Gay. You know, I'm serious, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. This is it. The doors is open. We got evil out here so strange. People say, whoa. And other people are just trying to say, well, whatever it is, ladies and gentlemen, it just ain't right. And so we can't play this game. So let's get it right. And I mean get it right. You say, well, what gets it right? I mean doing the kinds of things, ladies and gentlemen, that worked for people. You say, well, some things might work for some people and not work for others. I say, well, that's no big problem. If it works for some, does it hurt others? And if it doesn't, then it's fine. And if it does, then we got to find out how to eliminate the hurt and then carry it on. Hey, that's simple as life. If you care, that's what you're about. So I'm asking you, ladies and gentlemen, all over the world. I know you've been trained. I'm asking you to be evangelized. I'm asking for you to be born again. I'm asking you to change your mind when you hear the truth that says what I have just said. And I'm not coming to you going to tell you that because you are this nation, you're a better nation. You're the greatest nation. You got the best this, you got the best that, and you deserve. I'm not going to come tell you that. You are one people on the planet Earth. You are here by one power, the love of God, designed you, required that you have certain things, prepared that those things that are outside of you that are necessary already put here on the earth somewhere. And when you decide and can imagine, and that means that's the time for that thing to come into an existence, then you are prepared upon the experience that you have gathered from everything else. And we just go, we fly like the birds. You know, in your mind, you think angels fly. Now forget that. Fly by being successful in everything you put your hands to. And that's when you're working together, you cannot fail. So I say, what would you humans choose? Now, we've heard the expression about the broad and the wide, the straight and the narrow. You heard it. And they say few people find the straight and narrow. The straight and narrow means you as an individual accepting God because of you and God. Not because of what I say, but it's because of your wantness, your desire, and all of that stuff working together, and you're listening to God. That doesn't mean that you're turning against other people, because all the people that are listening to God are listening to the same voice. And they are moving according to what they have been given in the same path, on the same path to achieve the same end, that which I just discussed with you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all my brothers and sisters who are running away from the persecution of your government, you need a source to turn to, and that source is God. Now, what God will give you is courage. Courage to stand still. Stop running. You are being abused by some abusers. Stand up and let them know that they are abusers. When you stand up, you will be surprised at the magical powers that will be used in your favor. But you got to stand up. Running away means that you got fear. Running away means that you've been listening to that God that is whipping you right now. Now, other nations that have been receptive to receive you, that's an expression of goodness. But that ain't good enough. they need to stand up in such a way that their goodness with their own people is such a way that the people that are abusing you can understand where you are coming from. Well, I'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen, because I can talk on and on and on and on. 15 minutes, I think that's long enough. I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time, and I hope you can agree that it is not, these pancakes are waiting. So I'll talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, the next time my belly will be full. Goodbye.